So you're coming down to the last few days of your escrow and it's about time to sign your closing documents. By the end of this video, you'll have all the tips to be able to be prepared as a buyer to make sure that the close goes smooth. We've shared these tips with hundreds of our clients and you're next.
Should have ate all those chocolates.
What's up? This is Andrew Castelo and welcome to my channel. I give real estate advice and local insights about the Sacramento area. If this is your first time here, consider subscribing and hit the bell notifications to be notified when I post new videos every Thursday. Here to help me again, we have Natalie Dunning. Natalie, go ahead and say hi.
Hi.
Thanks for coming by again, or
Thank you
coming
for
by.
having
Actually, me coming to your office.
Yes, you're here
Yeah.
in our lovely conference room.
Yes,
Yes.
absolutely. And I appreciate your time
Thank you.
for helping us out here with this video. So actually we are at a title company right now, and this is very similar to the type of room that you will be signing your closing documents in. Now let's go ahead and jump into it right now. So the loan documents are in the escrow company, everything's ready for signing. In terms of scheduling, what's the most important thing a buyer needs to know?
So first thing that I always recommend buyers is to really keep a flexible schedule. A lot of times loan officers will let you know that the documents are in or they've been sent to escrow, but the escrow officer has some preparation that he or she needs to do with the documents before they're actually ready for the buyer to sign. So a lot of times if they're received in the afternoon, the title company needs to look those over and then be given some time to schedule with the buyer, probably the next day, to sign the actual documents. And it usually takes about 45 minutes to an hour to sign a complete buyer package.
Okay, so they should see if they can get time off work.
Yes,
to be able to make that happen.
Yes, and I wouldn't do too much preparation in that. A lot of times you'll hear from your loan officer that documents will be in escrow on a particular day, but 9 times out of 10 there are some delays with that, and unfortunately those delays can't always be avoided. So don't be too overzealous in getting your time off and getting all that ready to go. Really just let your boss know that you are in the midst of purchasing a property and that any day you should be called in to sign your documents, and most of the time your bosses will understand and give you the time needed to come in and sign.
Yeah, hopefully they understand.
Hopefully they understand.
Yeah.
But
Make them understand.
make them understand. No, but with that being said, I understand that it might not always come down to work, right? It might come down to your child's daycare or other schedules in that matter. So we can accommodate you if you can't obviously stop what you're doing and come in and sign. When you sign is directly related to when you actually get your keys. So, if you are really wanting to get your keys on it, let's say a Friday, the escrow officer will tell you what day you should probably sign in order to make that happen.
Great. And we'll actually cover that a little bit more later on towards the end of this video, so stick around for that. We have the time scheduled for signing. Where does the signing typically take place?
So it can take place in a number of places. It can take place here at the title company. It can also take place at your realtor's office or your loan officer's office, or maybe even your place of business or your home. Really, it comes down to the convenience of your schedule, and we can send a mobile notary out to you if need be.
That's really helpful too for people that are buying properties in a different area that they don't live in. You might not be able to get to the title company by the time they close. Typically, title companies close at 5 o'clock.
Correct, yeah.
And that's pretty standard across the United States.
Right.
And so you could just have a mobile notary show up at 7 o'clock at your place of business or at your home.
Exactly.
Makes it really convenient to be able to make that happen. So don't stress out if you can't make it to the title company. It's ideal if you can make it to the title company, but if you can't, there's always ways around it. Now we know what or where the signing is going to happen. What are the things that a buyer needs to bring with them to the signing?
So that's a great question. Bring yourself. You've got to be there. I have had buyers say, well, can I DocuSign those? Unfortunately, no. We do need wet signatures, especially on the recording documents. But most importantly, you do need a valid form of ID. And then you also need your closing funds, and those closing funds.
So just to interrupt, a valid form of ID is a driver's license or Passport.
Okay. So state issued driver's license, state issued identification card, passport. We will also accept a U.S. military ID. In addition to that, you also need to make sure you're bringing in your amount due to close. So you will see an estimated statement when you sign your documents. A lot of times your loan officer may be present, or your realtor may be present at the signing, so they can explain to you how much money is needed to close. A lot of times they've already looked at a closing statement. We here at Chicago Title like to give those closing statements to our realtors and our loan officers so that they can review that before the buyer, you, come in to sign. And once you are given that figure, just know that we need to receive the funds in one of two ways. It either needs to be in the form of a cashier's check or a wire. We have taken money orders before, but we really do recommend a cashier's check. A cashier's check you can simply get from your bank, and you just go right up to the teller and she can make that for you. Wire, same thing, you go to your bank and they'll wire the funds to us. I do want to note though that a cashier's check does take 24 hours to clear.
Yeah, so if you're in a time crunch with meeting your closing deadline, or you want to be in the property by a specific time, wire transfer is usually a lot faster to get done, because there is that delay with the cashier's check.
Exactly. So we've had cases where a buyer comes in, signs on a Friday morning, they're expecting to hopefully get their loan funded, and then the documents recorded by Friday afternoon to be able to move in on Friday night for Saturday morning. But if they bring in a cashier's check, we won't be able to record that day. So that's where we would recommend making sure that you're sending in a wire.
So in that case, if it's on a Friday, it would record most likely that following Monday.
Correct, exactly.
Okay. Typically, when you are wiring those closing funds, it's usually a little bit more than what you would need. It's better to be over than to be under, and you actually get a check back.
Yeah, absolutely. Yes.
After it's all balanced out and everything.
Yes, that's a really great point. So a lot of times when you're looking at your estimated closing date, it's really important to know that estimated word. I think a lot of times buyers look at that and they think that, oh, this is all the final numbers. What we do is we put an estimated closing date on the estimated closing statement, and that's what we base all of your prorations on. And sometimes if we don't close on that date, everything has to be readjusted.
Sure.
So if need be, if you need to bring in a little bit extra just to make sure that that's you're covered for that stuff, because for example, let's say that estimated closing date isn't for sure, then that would probably be the best way to go.
I think before, Natalie, you said it takes about 45 minutes or so to sign everything. Unless you're a reader and you decide to read every single document there, it might take a little bit longer, but most people just get it done within 45 minutes.
Yes.
Maybe an hour or so if they have questions. But what happens next after everything is signed? So let's go to the example of it's a Wednesday, you sign everything, Wednesday afternoon.
Okay,
What happens
Wednesday
next?
afternoon. So one thing to really know and to make sure you're aware of is that in escrow and when you're buying a house, there are so many variables. So with those variables, you have to remember that depending on the lender, we have to get the lender's approval and the lender's loan funds in order to record the document and essentially make the house yours. So let's go back to your scenario of signing on a Wednesday. If your lender sends the loan funds to the title company by, let's say, Thursday or Friday morning, we would need those funds by 1 o'clock in order to record that same day. What that means is that the recorder, for example, Sacramento County Recorder, has the a recording document, and then we let them know that we're ready to go, meaning we have the money from the lender, and they now will put the official stamp of recordation on the document, and the home will officially be yours.
Just to recap that real quick. You sign on a Wednesday afternoon, you send all the documents back to the lender. The lender approves it at some point, so it's probably Thursday. Let's just say
Let's just hypothetically say Thursday.
It gets approved. They send the funds in before 1 o'clock on that Thursday. You're able to record
for Thursday
afternoon, and you'll be able to receive your keys that day, most likely at 5 according to our contracts here in California.
Yeah, exactly. So it definitely is a volley, right? And what I mean by that is, when the documents are in our possession, it's essentially the ball is in the title company's court.
Right.
So we make sure that the documents get signed, they get signed properly, they get signed efficiently, and then we send those back to the lender, and now the ball is back in the lender's court. The lender reviews everything. A lot of times they have to do verification of employment, and they have to do a number of other things before they give us the approval and the loan funds in order to record the document.
Natalie, thank you so much. I know this was a lot of information, so actually I'm going to include a link with the actual checklist of the things that we covered today in the description, so make sure you guys check that out. It'll be a free download for you, and if you found this video to be helpful, show me by liking the video, comment below as well. We'd love to hear your comments about what you've learned on this, and also share the video with anyone else. It'd be pretty awesome if you guys did that, and also again consider subscribing. Until next time, thank you so much and good luck on your home buying journey, and may you have a smooth closing. All right, we'll see you.
Bye.